So we just received some pretty exciting news out of Giga Shanghai this morning or this evening, whether you're in the US or in China. So China just announced the refresh Model 3. They finally unveiled it. I was actually wondering which info would come first, whether it be, Project Highland or the Cybertruck. Looks like the Cybertruck lost yet again. So I got a lot of info to cover and not much time to do it. So let's get started. So getting right into it, one of the first things that you'll notice about the refresh Model 3 is we are seeing some slight changes on the exterior. You see a slightly refreshed, said rear, and as well as a brand new front lip spoiler, as well as brand new headlights. We are seeing some different wheels as well, but I see those being mainly for China only. A lot of the info that I have, we have nothing in regards to the US just yet. Like I said, this is coming out of Giga Shanghai first with orders starting in October, which people are probably wondering, well, why China first? Well, if you're not tracking, China is actually one of the biggest markets for electric vehicles. There's actually quite a few different EV manufacturers in China, and they are all competing. So this is a good battleground for Tesla to kind of make their mark even further, because Giga Shanghai has repeatedly, exceeded their expectations in terms of production and delivery numbers. So I'm really looking forward to this new refresh Model 3 and just how well it does in China, because I definitely expect it to blow up in other countries as well once it's actually available. All right, so talking about some of the interior changes, which I mean there's actually quite a few, which I'm going to go over. One of the first things that you will notice is there is an updated steering wheel. This one actually mimics the S and the X a bit because there's no gear stalks, no turn signals, no nothing. Everything is on the steering wheel via the haptic feed button, similar to what you would find on the S and the X, just because Tesla's concept or their idea is less is more, because that's less things that they now have to purchase. A very unique feature, something we're seeing as well, is in the incorporation of ambient lighting. This was first teased on a picture of the Cybertruck that was actually spotted in Austin. The Cybertruck that was in Austin also had interior lighting. So the fact that this is coming, to the Model 3 it's welcomed, but it's not surprising whatsoever. We are, man, sorry, words are hard today. We're also seeing a completely refreshed center console. Okay, when I guess I mean completely refreshed, part of it's refreshed. First thing that you're going to notice is actually the center console itself looks very similar to the S and the X. A lot of things I'm going to mention are going to relate into the S and the X as well as we kind of get more further down into the video. But it also still comes with the standard, 2 wireless charging pads for your phone, which I'm not a fan of them. I've never used them on my, in my Model Y just because they're slow. Nothing really beats a cable or the mag charger that I have by Jawa. Nothing beats those. So. But it's still cool that they're there, but like I said, I just don't use them. I couldn't care less whether they were on there or not. So in addition to the center console, a couple of things that we're going to see as well is they're actually using real aluminum in some of the trim pieces in the refresh Model 3. It kind of gives it a more luxurious feel into the vehicle. A lot of this that I'll be talking about today is more in regards to luxury. Biggest complaint, with some of the like with Tesla owners as a whole is that it just doesn't quite feel as luxurious as it should, especially when you're talking to the S and the X realm, especially for how much you're paying. It's just not as luxurious as it should be, especially when you compare it to something like, a Mercedes EV, something like that. So I'm definitely glad to see Tesla finally listening to their customers and stepping it up a bit. All right, so two things that I'm actually kind of super excited about. One is the addition of a rear screen in the Model 3. You're probably asking, why would you put a rear screen in a Model 3? I think this has to do more with robotaxi coming online sometime in hopefully the near future. Because especially like I said, when you have your robotaxi out there making you money, it's gonna have a nice rear screen back there. So, passengers can, mess around, play games, watch YouTube and do whatnot. So that's a really cool addition to the Model 3. Same as we see in the S and the X. Now it's being incorporated into the 3. We have seen hints of it in the Cybertruck as well. So now going forward, it definitely looks like that a rear screen in Teslas is going to be a standard feature, along with my absolute most requested and favorite feature, front cooled seats. Yes, finally. The new Model 3 has cooled seats, which for a car that costs, in the mid $30,000, low $40,000 range, that's awesome. That's been people's biggest complaint in Teslas, is like they want cooled seats. So the fact that we're getting that, and when I mean people's complaint, it's more me. It's me that's complaining that there's no cooled seats, because I don't have cooled seats in my Model Y, and ever since I drove an S and an X, I need them. Like, cooled seats are absolutely amazing, but I'll kind of jump off that high horse on that one, and I'll get into some of the other fantastic features that we're getting. So we're not really seeing too many changes in regards to the front screen, but apparently it actually is a lot brighter, a little bit more crisp, and a lot more responsive, which if you've driven a Tesla screens are the most responsive I've ever seen in any vehicle. So the fact that they're making them better is pretty impressive. I call it basically having an iPad in your car to control your car. So I'm really looking forward to actually, kind of getting my hands on that, manipulating a little bit, and just to see how much better and, crisper this screen actually is. All right, so now we're getting in kind of into the nitty gritty technical portion. Got my trusty notes here because I don't want to do y'all dirty. And like I said, I'm sorry I don't memorize all this, but it's a lot of numbers. And so there's a lot to go over. So like I said earlier, it's composed of 50% new parts compared to, the old Model 3. So 50% new parts. We're seeing a 30% decrease in wind and ambient noise, 25% improvement in impact noise, as well as a 20% improvement in road noise due to some acoustic glass that they're adding onto the rear windows. So what does all that mean basically? It sounds like we're going to get a much quieter ride in the Model 3. I know early Model 3 adopters, that was kind of one of their complaints, as just the wind noise makes it so loud, and the fact that also that it's so low to the ground. And there's a lot of road noise, a lot of wind noise. So the fact that they're kind of changing that up a bit to make it a much quieter and, more positive experience is great in my opinion. This thing is also 8% more efficient in terms of drag coefficient. I'm not going to bore you with the number. Actually, I will bore you with the numbers. So now it incorporates a 0.219 drag coefficient, which like I said is 8% more efficient. This kind of goes more in tune with, Tesla's overall mission. Just make, they want to, of course, sustainable energy. Yes, that's great, but they want a better and more reliable ride experience and just an overall driving experience. There also is some new suspension as well. I don't know really too much the details on that one, but yes, we are getting new suspension. But probably one of the final things, something that's kind of exciting here, is the incorporation of 2 new colors. And I guess when I mean 2 new colors, it's colors we've seen before, but one of them is something we haven't seen on the Model 3, and it's ultra red. Like I said, if you're a Tesla enthusiast, you know that ultra red, which I kind of call it a candy apple red, is only on the S and the X for now, but we are seeing it on the refresh Model 3. And then the other color it's something called stealth gray, which we've seen this color before. So right now, Tesla currently offers Midnight Silver Metallic, which is kind of a lighter version of the stealth gray. But before Midnight Silver Metallic, we had like the original gray, which looks like the stealth gray that's pictured here. So really, it's more not like it's new. It's kind of like, hey, we're just bringing it back because it does look really good. I definitely admit that. So the biggest thing you're probably wondering is how much is it and when can I get it? So how much is it? In the US, we're not sure yet. Tesla China has updated their website, but we haven't seen anything in the US yet. As soon as something does become available, I will post it, on X and all that. Which, you're not following me on X, go do that too. But and price, the only price we've seen are for China. So we are seeing just a little bit over $35,000 for the rear-wheel drive Model 3, and then we're seeing just a little bit over $40,000 for the long range, which I really hope those numbers hold up here for the US, because if so, that's impressive. If those numbers hold, the $35,000 Model 3 is alive again. It will be alive and it will be thriving, and it will absolutely crush the EV market here in the US. Because let's do some math here, people. $35,000 Model 3, $7,500 tax credit. That brings it to, $27,500. Forget my math if I'm just slightly off. But then let's include some of these states that have great state tax incentives like Colorado, California, Vermont, just to name a few. We're implying those state incentives. You're looking at a Model 3 for around $22,000 to $20,000 ish. Let me say that again. A Tesla Model 3 for just around $20,000. That's impressive. That would dominate. If that's true, that would be, if those numbers hold, that would be lower than anything thought possible in the entire US. No other car company would be able to even compete with that. Not even close. So when we're talking about range, so these are figures for China. We have nothing in regards to the US. The EPA has not tested this new vehicle, so we don't know just yet. But the rear-wheel drive, you're looking at around 346 miles, with the long range being over 420. Which, keep in mind, China has different standards than the US does in terms, like I said, they have their own version of the EPA, but it's extremely different. Their standards are completely different. So don't count on those numbers making their way to the US, because one, if it did, that would basically make the Model S obsolete overnight. Because why would I pay that much money for, a slightly bigger sedan when I can get a Model 3 for, sub $40,000 or even sub $30,000? But like I said, only time will tell. We don't know anything in regards to pricing, the specs, nothing for the US. But like I said, as soon as I find out something, I will keep y'all updated. But really, that's all I got. I tried to keep the video as short as possible, but I hope you enjoyed it. Found it educational. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, haven't yet subscribed, hit that subscribe button. I think it's like right there somewhere. It would help me out a ton. Also, welcome to all my new subscribers. I think as we're sitting today, we have over 3,300 subscribers. So that's awesome. Thank you, all of you. But yeah, hope you enjoy the rest of your day. See ya.